Do you want to transform your life? Do you want to become someone completely different who can achieve new levels of success in your own life? Do you want your future to be bigger and brighter than your present? If yes to any of those questions, this is the video for you. Being in the business of helping men transform their lives means I get a lot of questions about the how, the process. How do I be a better man? How do I be a better father, leader, protector, provider? And so what I'm going to do today is tell you what I would tell any man going through any transformation in his life. It doesn't matter what area of life, it doesn't matter what stage you're in, and I believe this can be applied at any point in your life. Today, I am going to show you how physical training is the ultimate gateway drug to your growth and how it can be an incredible anchor for you for the rest of your life in any transformation that you go through. We're going to dive in and we're going to move fast, so stick with me here. Before I dive in, let me state clearly that I do not believe that physical fitness is either the foundation of personal development or the pinnacle of personal development. The foundation must be where truth originates. That is the scripture, it's the word of God, period. You are not going to find truth inside of fitness. You are going to find principles that point back to truth that already existed, but if your purpose, if the end all be all, if where you start and end is fitness, then all you're going to be is a fit individual with no balance anywhere. So it's not the foundation, and it's also not the pinnacle. Not every individual who is fit, in good physical shape, has their diet on point, is a well-balanced or mature individual. Look at professional athletes. That whole statement about how you do one thing is how you do everything is complete BS. I don't buy into it at all because I know great businessmen who are also great husbands but are in terrible physical shape. I also know people in amazing physical shape that are complete douchebags. And so it's not the foundation. It's also not the pinnacle. It can be a sign of someone who is personally developed, of someone who is disciplined, of someone who has their life together, but it's not a rule. I will say that the majority of the time, when I encounter someone who is in shape, they got their fitness dialed, they got their diet dialed, they're consistent, they're disciplined, it's a part of their everyday lifestyle, I do find that the rest of their life does tend to be in better order than people who do not have anything with their physical training in check. Think about it, right? Think about not just athletes. Set athletes aside for a minute. What about actors? What about people who are great musicians? Anybody who's at the top of their game tends to be in great physical shape. And it's not just because they can afford a trainer. A trainer's still not going to do the work for you, right? I find that people who are massively successful utilize it as something to point them back to the principles of growth and keep them in a growth mindset and in a mindset of aggressive movement forward. I also find it very interesting that there are a lot of entrepreneurs. Think about the top tier entrepreneurs on social media. Many of them started in physical fitness, whether it be opening gyms like a Hormozy, starting with supplements, and also guys that have been personal trainers or released fitness programs to the world. There is something about the process of growing yourself physically and the demand that it requires that also translates to other areas of life. And I'm going to show you how right now, all right? So if you've got a pen or a pencil or you want to pause this, whatever, grab your stuff, do it, because I'm going to move quickly and you're going to want to write this stuff down. It's going to be a huge help to you, all right? Before we even dive into the points, I got 20 points, by the way. All right, let's quickly redefine the word success. We're talking about how it's the gateway drug to success, but what is success? All right, we need to fix this because I think most people, when they hear the word success, they think about a destination. Oh, he's successful. Oh, he's had great success. Oh yeah, I can't wait until I'm successful. We tend to think about it in terms of a place we reach, a destination, a place of arrival. Oh, I have arrived at this place, so I'm successful. Wrong. Here's why. I'm going to break it down for you really simple. The word success also happens to be in the word successful. It also has a place in the word successive or succession. Success or succession, when you think about successive numbers, that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is succession. Those are successive numbers. Counting in that way is successive. It is successful. That process is in success. So that means if you are working your way toward a goal, if you are in the process of getting closer each day or closer to your goal than you were yesterday, you are in success. It is a state of being. It is a path that you are on. It is not a place you arrive. Because once you arrive there, you still got to keep it up. Success is progressive movement toward a worthy ideal. I forget who said that, but somebody, big name, look it up if you want. Success is a continuous journey and progression toward a worthy ideal. So redefine the word success right now. To be successful is not to arrive, it's to be in the process of success. All right, so let's move forward here. How and why is physical fitness the gateway drug to growth and success? 20 quick points here, guys. Number one, physical training forces you to act in the likeness of God. That's the very core, and that would be enough for me. All right, and here's why. The first thing that God shows us about himself is that he's creative. But what's the first thing he shows us about his creative process? He envisioned something he wanted, and then he went about building it and making it real in the world. Guys, that's it. God saw it here first, and then he made it in the physical world. Your physical body and your ability to shape your physical body strictly through a vision that you see in a world that does not exist and make it a reality in this world is you acting like God. It is the most godlike property you have, the ability to create and take something from out there and make it real right here. How amazing is that? Number two, it mimics God's process of creation. One of my favorite mentors, easily my favorite Bible teacher and business teacher on the planet, teaches the process of creation. And I'll be very, very quick with this. I'll teach on it at length at some point. But he says that God's process of creation, you can follow this throughout Genesis, is one, imagination or the vision. God saw it here first before it was a reality. It's the vision. We see it here. Next, God communicated the vision. That's the next step, communication. Let there be light. I see a vision of the body I want in the future, what I want for myself. I communicate it. This is what I want. Number three, God instilled systems like a diet, like a workout plan, like knowing how many macronutrients and calories to consume, a system. Then finally was the implementation, the actual doing of the work. That's you showing up at the gym. So not only does it show our God-likeness, but it also walks us through the process of creation, which is biblical, which means we cannot fail if we follow that process. It's the biblical standard. Number three, you got to have a great why or intention. Your why has to be deep enough. That's for anything in your life that you want to change. You can't change something just because you want to change it. You've got to have a deep why that motivates you to pull you through the hard days. Oh, I like the color black more than I like the color brown is not enough to get you to change your life in a massive way. There's got to be a deep reason to want to change. With fitness, it could be, I'm tired of looking fat at the beach. I'm tired of not being able to take my shirt off. I'm tired of my wife not looking at me like I would like her to look at me. I'm tired of not feeling like the most capable individual in the world. I want to be viewed as a threat by people that could harm my family. Your why must be deep. That applies to the rest of your life and any transformation you want to make. Number four, you must have a clear vision. Guys, you cannot build the body. I remember listening to an Arnold Schwarzenegger speech actually just last week on Spotify about how his process of envisioning who he wanted to be and what he wanted to be and then working each day to that reality. Talked about the very clear vision of exactly the body fat he wanted, exactly the weight he wanted to be, what it looked like. He put those images in his room and around the gym to be able to see them and go, that's what I'm focused on. Your vision, your clarity of vision actually helps you deliver and develop a plan. If you don't have a vision to where you want to go and a clear outcome, it doesn't matter what plan you come up with. Because the plan has to be tailored to the vision that you have. So there's actually a roadmap between A and B. All right? These are all principles, by the way. Just implement these into your life with your physical training and be looking for these principles on a regular basis. They will become natural to you and they will apply to the rest of your life. All right? Number five, you must create a clear plan. A lot of people don't create a plan. A vision without a plan is a fantasy. It doesn't exist because until there's a plan, there's no real path to get to where you want to go. This applies to every other area of your life. Guys, this is why I'm telling you to do this, because if you do it here, it's much easier to do it elsewhere. Number five is you must create a clear plan. All right, everybody ready for number six? You must follow the plan consistently, even when you don't feel like it. We all know, no matter where we're at in life, whatever change we want to make, transformation we want to make, it starts with emotion. We're emotional creatures. We make decisions based on emotion. We justify them with logic. And so there are going to be days when we don't feel like it. Think about anything you've tried to change. There's that emotional burst right at the beginning of, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm very excited to change. I'm going to grow. I'm going to become something new. And then over time, You start to lose a bit of that emotional motivation. That's not going to be the way you can operate if you want your life to change and you actually want to transform. It's no different with your gym situation. Showing up every single day in your physical fitness, your physical training, teaches you to apply that principle every other way in every other area of your life. Number 7, you must track and measure your progress. What gets tracked and measured gets improved, but you can't improve what you don't measure. It's not going to help you get better day to day if you don't know where you were before and where you're going tomorrow. You got to track and measure your progress. Number 8, you must make adjustments on the fly. Guys, this is going to apply no matter what you're in. Your marriage, with your kids, with your business, any area of life, you're going to have to make adjustments on the fly. Oh, I couldn't make it to the gym at this time. Well, guess what? We got to pivot. Oh, I wasn't able to get the nutrition in I needed to get in before the end of the day. Guess what? We're going to have to pivot. There are things you're going to have to do to make adjustments to get the results you want, even though the process isn't perfect. Someone's on the machine you want at the gym. Doesn't matter. You're still going to have to find a way to work that muscle. I'm telling you guys, this applies everywhere. Number 9, you must focus fully on the task at hand. Guys, I've been in the gym for over 20 years. Oh, well, longer than that. Shoot, I'm 40. So I've been in the gym 26 years lifting weights. Over the years, I have realized that if I'm not fully focused, I'm not getting my worth out of my work. In other words, I can go to the gym for an hour and I can be distracted and be having conversations and be listening to music or watching something on my phone or having a movie playing in the background, but it takes my mind out of what I'm doing, and so I don't get that intensity of work that I would get otherwise. Without that full focus, you are wasting your time. You're doing something half-assed for an hour or 80% for an hour, when if you gave 100% for that hour, you'll get that much bigger of a result out of it. It teaches you to be focused on the task at hand. There is nothing but this when I'm working on it. A few more points, guys. Number 10, we're halfway there. You must start at 0 every day. And I think this is one of the most powerful ones. There is not a day when you walk in the gym where it's easier today than it was yesterday. Or the last time I did a leg workout was easier than it is today. Why? Because I'm always trying to beat the last person I was. I'm always trying to beat the last weight I did. I'm always trying to beat the last time I had. There's always beating that last thing that you did. There's always growth. So every single day, you start at 0. There is no entitlement. If yesterday I couldn't lift 45 and today I can lift 50, now 50 is my new 0. Now the goal is 55. You start at 0 every single day. That principle's powerful for the rest of your life. Number 11, you must act as your future self in faith. Guys, how do you become the future self who can lift the weight that only your future self could lift? Today in the gym, when you walk in there and you want to become the person who can lift that weight on the bar, how do you go about becoming him? It's through putting the weight on the bar and lifting it. Period. The weight you haven't lifted yet, the weight you are afraid of, that time you're afraid of, you have to act as your future self in faith. And as we act as our future self, it becomes normal to us. We become that character. As we're lifting that weight and finding that failure, that's how we are becoming that individual. But we must act as that individual in faith today to be able to experience his strength tomorrow. Are you seeing where this applies to the rest of your life? It applies to your business. It applies to your parenting. It applies to you being a husband. How do I be the individual of the future? I act like him today, and it forces me to fake it till I make it and become who he is in that moment. All right, still moving. Number 12, you must seek pain and failure in order to grow. Guys, most people avoid pain their entire lives. But do you know what triggers a muscle to grow? It's failing. It's trying to lift something so many times or so heavy that your body can't do it, that your muscles communicate to the rest of your body, I need more. That's the only way muscles grow. So if we are constantly on a day-to-day basis, even if it's just in our physical training, seeking failure as a habit instead of avoiding it, seeking that painful place that we need to push through, what do you think that would do to us in our regular lives? As entrepreneurs, as leaders, as friends. Something amazing to think about. Number 13, you must feed yourself the right inputs. Guys, you're going to get out what you put in. It's no different. I've been talking a lot this last week to people about what we put in our ears comes into the rest of our lives. We build our faith. Scripture says faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. What we fill our eyes and ears with will become who and what we are, and it will flow out of us. So you got to feed yourself the right food. You got to feed yourself the right things if you're going to get the right outputs. Number 14, it exposes your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. Guys, when you're in the gym, there's nobody but you. There's no one else to blame. There's no one else to point fingers at. If you don't reach your goals, it's no one's fault but yours. That's got to apply to the rest of our lives as leaders. It shows you who the problem is. It fosters humility because there's no one to point the finger at but me. I didn't meet my goal. I'm in charge of my waistline. I'm in charge of my weight. I'm in charge of my effort. I'm in charge of my consistency. It exposes your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. Number 15, you start to serve your goals with your entire life. It's amazing that when you start your fitness journey, it's all about the fitness. And it's just about the working out. But after a while, you figure out that's not all there is to it. You got to sleep the right number of hours for your body to grow muscle. You got to hydrate enough to flush the nonsense out of your system. You got to consume the right amount of food in order to feed your body what it needs. So you start to serve your goals with the rest of your life. And that's what needs to apply to the other areas of your life. You get consumed and obsessed with that growth to where you'll adjust other areas of your life in a major way to see yourself accomplish what you've got in your vision. Number 16, you learn to love the process of growing. I hated the gym at first. Now I can't live without it. I love that feeling of growth. I love that feeling of pain. I love that feeling of failure because it lets me know that I'm getting closer and closer to my goal because I've seen it work in my life. Number 17, it changes your mental wiring. The way you think changes. The way you think about pain changes. The way you think about failure changes. The way you think about time changes because you get locked into that brick by brick, day by day, sheet by sheet. I'm going to build my mountain. Number 18, and this is just the practical, it changes your hormones. Guys, do you understand what the hormonal signals in your body tell you? They tell you whether you're happy or sad, depressed or full of purpose. We don't give enough attention to the physical thing that God put us inside of. We're trying to change things with pills and reading books when a lot of the time it's as simple as move your body. This will change the way you think. It will change the way you act. It'll change the way you carry yourself. Number 19, it changes how you see yourself. And this is perhaps the most powerful part. It tells you who you are. And it gives you confidence with a body of proof. When you first walk in day one, you're not very confident. By the end of the first year, you know who you are. You know what you can lift. You know you've been showing up on those cold mornings. You know you've been showing up when you're tired, when you don't feel like it. You know you've been showing up regardless. You know the pain that you've put in. You know the blood, sweat, and tears you've put in. And it changes the way you see yourself. It helps you to see yourself as someone who does show up, someone who is strong, someone who is capable, someone who is consistent and disciplined. Not only that, but just from a physical perspective, your clothes fit better. You're going to feel more confident walking around in them. You're going to feel more strong and more capable. You're going to feel more attractive. And then finally, last point, number 20, it changes how others perceive you. Not only does it make you more attractive to your wife or a potential spouse, but how do you think threats see you and your family? Now they see you as a danger point. They see you as a deterrent. What about work and colleagues? What does your physical discipline tell others about you? Does it tell them that you show up on time? That you show up when it's painful? That your diet's in check? That you pay attention? That you're tracking and measuring? That you're committed to a goal and a vision that you have? Or does your physical state tell people that you're sloppy? That you're uncommitted? That you don't really care how you look? That you're not much of a threat or a danger? Maybe you won't follow through on what you said you would do. You can't guard what's being put in your mouth and how often you move your body. Why else would you be able to do anything else of value? So guys, those are 20 points. I know this was short, sweet, relatively simple, but I find that's what helps people move the most is simple. Guys, apply this to your life. No matter what change you're going through, no matter what transformation you're trying to make in your life, if you will create and stick to a physical training regimen, and not just for the physical aspect, but be looking for these principles of truth that it points you back to, this will not only open the door to you wanting to develop yourself in many other areas of life, but those principles are going to transfer and help you grow at a much faster rate. Guys, I hope this video served you. If you liked it, like it, subscribe, throw me a comment if you want, share this video with somebody. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. I will see you on the next video.